Hi, today we're gonna talk about PvP and how you can try to reach the top 10. So first of all, PvP in this game, it's very random and it's totally range. So what you wanna try to do is simply to get a range on your side. Also, what is important to know, you don't need many upgrades for PvP, but rather you need the right items, the right effects. So why is PvP so important in this game? When I go here onto the season rewards, you can see you're getting the keys of prophecies, with which you can get the shards of prophecies in order to craft your mythical gear. So as you can see, the higher you get, the more of these things you get at the end of the week. And to be honest, even for a beginner, it's pretty easy to reach Grandmaster and top 50, 100. That's really no problem. And if you invest some thinking and some combining of your items, you can also easily reach like top 30, top 20 or top 10. So that's no big deal here. So let's take a look at the gear. So I will go into my equipment, but I will go to the setup and show you my whole setup. So PvP, there we go. So as you can see here, my gear, I mean, I have a few stars on a few items, but normally it doesn't really matter that much, because when you take a look here, you see here written small, PvP stats. So the PvP stat is always the base one. So the enhancement level doesn't really matter on the items. And the stars, yeah, I mean, they give you a little bit more health and attack and so on. But as you can see here, I don't have maxed everything out. I mean, this is not even mythical. And you can come, or you can go pretty far. Also, as you can see here, I have these rings, they're not mythical, and I can still achieve, I think now I'm top 3 or something like that. So you see, you don't need any mythical rings really. So what is important here? The title, you have an advantage if you have the frost title, but if not, you can still use like let's see, what is it called? You could use the fire title. You could also use the void title for more stats, and you could also use the guild title. So you see here attack increase, attack speed, and so on, and then you can save some stats on the other items. The extracts, pretty much what you use here is you want to try to maximize your normal stats like critical rate. So just go here. So you want to try to max out penetration power. I mean, you see here this is only 48, but I have demon power, so I get plus 50 during the fight. You want to max out critical rate. As you can see here, I'm still missing like 3 points. You want to try to max out attack speed. So you see here I still have some room to improve. And you also want to max out skill cooldown reduce. So as you can see here now, I still have, I don't have it maxed out. And that's because I just changed my gear. So we will try in a second to get here, I think 80, I need 80. So I need 20, no, I need 16. Yes, 16. I need 16 more skill cooldown reduce. So let's see if I can get it through the extracts or through the skins. And what is also important is the dodge rate. So you want to try to max this one out, because if the enemy can't hit you, you won't get any damage. And also your shield block rate should be near maximum, so you get less damage. Companions, I use companions to get my block chance up, and also I'm using this one for the skill cooldown reduce. Skills, yeah, to be honest, there are a few variations out there. You can play around, but generally, to be honest, it doesn't really matter what skills you take. I mean, there are a few mandatory skills, but other than that, you can simply take a look at the ranks and you see what the other guys have there, other players. Item-wise, you should use the Void Chest or Helmet, because if you're using Frozen Acceleration, you will get 5 more skill cooldown reduce. What is also important, you need, this is a must-have, so this Will of Yggdrasil, this is a must-have in PvP, and also Undying Sigurd is also a must-have in PvP. You need these two in order to get to the top. The next ones, which are also important, I mean, they're not must-haves, but they make your life easier, is first of all Death Sentence, because of the bleeding one. And once the enemy is bleeding, I mean, it's written here, the affected targets are bleeding, which greatly reduces their damage. And the second one, this Activate Catella's Leviathan Shield. You see here, if I scroll down, you have a 3% chance for 5 seconds of immortality. So if this one procs, you're gonna win the fight with a high probability. What is also nice to have is a Goblin Belt, because of the skill cooldown reduced cap by 10%. Yes, also what is nice, I mean, some people are using Manticore, some people are using like shock boots. I guess you have to try for yourself. I haven't done that much testing with this, because for me it's more or less everything the same. But since I want to try to max out my attack speed, I need this Manticore Fang. The Frost Earrings are important because of the freeze rate, because generally in PvP you want to try to immobilize the enemy. So it's like freeze or shock damage. And that's why you also want to try to use Loki's Broken Mirror. Since your clone will double the chance of freezing the enemy or generally immobilizing it, it's a pretty much mandatory item in PvP. Then you should also use one fire item because of the attack rate increase and also because of the damage reduction. Yeah, no surprise here with the Void Season. This is also pretty much a mandatory item. But I saw on the US servers, some people are using Ranger. But I guess with this one, since the skill cooldown reduce is, or you can faster attack the enemy, so you can freeze more with the mage. So it's easier and everybody's using this. For the weapon, I'm using the Season 1 Void weapon, but I also saw some people using the, how is it called? The Bifrost stuff. So you can play around. I think it's more or less it's gonna be the same. Let's get back to the extracts. So you see here one important thing is the Cerberus extract, and I mean you could also use this as an item. But as you can see here, when attacking an opponent with less than 10% HP, decrease the opponent's attack rate by 30%. So this means the enemy will attack slower. When you watch your PvP fights, often you're gonna die nearly at the same time with the enemy, and sometimes you get the fight, so you win the fight, or you lose the fight. So this effect will increase the chance that you survive like a millisecond longer and still win the fight. So now we saw here that I'm still missing some skill cooldown reduce, 60%. So let's hope I can get it through my skins. So let's see, I have 50, so I can reduce my penetration power, because through demon power you get 50. So this means 35, about 13. I can reduce my penetration power about 13. Critical rate I can't really reduce. Okay, so let's take a look at my skins. Let's go to PvP, skins. So I have here a dodge rate, but I don't think I can get here anything with skill cooldown reduce. No. Ah, but here. So I got a where is it? Penetration power. So in general, I could simply change this one to a skill cooldown view. So let's extract this one and let's see if I have 15 and also dodge rate. 15, some penetration power. So let's take this one. Assign. So, and now if we get back, so penetration power plus 50, that's enough. Critical rate, yeah, still missing 3 points, doesn't matter. Okay, I missed now 2%. Let's leave it like it is. And now let's go into the fight and see how this new setup works for me. But before we go into the fight, we can also take a look at the ranking. So you see here I'm at the moment 3rd place. And the nice thing about PvP is you can generally check everyone's gear. And as you can see, everyone has pretty much similar gear. So again, you see the fire helmet, the chest, the void chest. Semel has the shock boots. But you see Undying Sigurd, Frozen Acceleration, Manticore. He has also Rastori Prey, which is also pretty nice. And Demon Power. So let's take a look at this one. See, this one is using the Bifrost weapon and is using again 1 fire item, 1 void item, Will of Yggdrasil, Manticore, Undying Sigurd, Demon Power, Loki. So as you can see, it's pretty much always the same. You see here block companions mostly. And like I mentioned before, everyone is using slightly different skills. So you can play around with them and you can also take a look at other guys' setup and play around with it. So as you can see, this was a nice example. I think this Oleus Blessing is one of the best rings for PvP since it gives you 60% increased damage, so you kill your enemies faster. So now let's see and test out the new setup. So this one, he was once under me. Let's go fast forward. And you saw this is what I meant. Okay, I mean now he survived, but often you die at the same time. And yeah, the range decides who gets the win or who gets the loss. And you'll see I won against Semel. That's great, 30 points. Yeah, what I also dislike about PvP, if somebody is like, or if somebody has better gear than you and is not playing that actively and has less points and you lose, you're gonna lose a lot of points. So that's why it's always good to, when you're going for a higher rank, it's always good to do it at the end of the week when the others have more points. So I think Hydron, or however we pronounce him, was rank 2. And now we won again, that's good. So as you can see, this setup works pretty good. Again, a win. And normally my aim is during the week, I want to try to reach 5,000 points so I can get, I think it was 7 or 8 shards of prophecy. So let's then stop here. I think we've proved that this is working since we got a win against Semel. So you can see here. Oh, where is it? Here it goes. So it works pretty good. Yeah, so I want to emphasize please make your PvP equipment, make your setup. It's not that hard. You just need to get lucky with items because you need the unique effects on your items. But if you have the right items, you can get pretty easy on a higher rank in PvP. And the more people play PvP, yeah, the more funnier it gets. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and leave me a like, subscribe, and see you until next time. Bye.